Hey guys, it's Aaron here. I'm here with my personal 1/16th Erevo, and I'm just going to do a little review on this truck. I've done a lot of numerical incremental upgrades and updates to this truck. I've had this truck for a very long time, probably going on to my third or fourth year now with this truck. A very fun truck. Okay, so out of the box, okay, this truck comes with a 27 megahertz radio system, which is not bad. Not bad radio. The only reason, why they would be bad, is if you had someone else on the same frequency as you. But other than that, no problem. What I ended up doing, I went out and bought the TQI 2.4 gigahertz radio system with the iPod dock system, docking base. I run all the telemetry in this truck, so RPM sensor, voltage, temperature sensors, all that are in here. And it works out really, really nice. This car is quite a fast car. I have this one clocked in at about 50 plus miles an hour, but we'll get to how I did that, and I'll explain to you a lot of neat little tricks and things I did to make the truck a lot better and break a lot less. Okay, I do love this car, but yeah, see, but right, it breaks a lot. So this truck does need a lot of upgrades. So what we're gonna do here, I'm just gonna talk about some of the weak points in this truck. A lot of the weak points are A-arms, the axle carriers. I've snapped the chassis once, but that was just the front nose of it. I pretty much did a little 40 mile an hour dive into a curb, and yeah, the whole front of the car just split completely right off. So really, those are the only, well, there are more weak points, and drive shafts, those are very important as well. Okay, so I'll take the body off. Before I do, I'm going to tell you right now, this car has or contains the Creations Sidewinder 3 combo. 4600 kV 4-pole motor, 540 size can, puts out a lot of torque, a lot of power, rated up for 3S lipo or 12 cell nickel. Okay, so here we go. I'll take the body off and we'll get into that. My body's destroyed. I need a new body, right? I'm surprised it's held up this long. It's 3-4 years old, right? Okay, so this is the setup. This is how she is. Okay, as you can see, we got the Castle Sidewinder 3 ESC here. I got it mounted with some Velcro, and the Velcro is holding it in quite well. It doesn't go anywhere. I've yet to have that go flying out of the body. The 4-pole 540 size motor is mountable to the stock aluminum motor mount, so it will work with the stock aluminum motor mount. So you don't have to go out and buy another one of those. What else did I do? Okay, yeah. When I was talking about drive shafts, the plastic ones you will strip. With this combo, I have stripped them. So I went out and bought the Traxxas steel CVD kit. Okay, so there's 4 drive shafts all the way around. Okay, as you can see, and I also have the center drive shaft as well. So the best thing about it is when I go to give her full throttle, I am not going to have to worry about stripping drive shafts and having to replace internal parts, because this car, when you do break it, it's quite a pain in the ass to work on, because there's just so many parts and small parts hooked to it. You just gotta work at it just to keep it down to a minimum for breakage, right? So I'm gonna go over this with you, and we're gonna rectify those weak points and allow you to get more run time instead of downtime. And for the past 2 years, I did have a lot of downtime with this, so that's kind of why I don't run this very much anymore. So the steel CVDs are the best. always go through Traxxas and get their stuff. Don't go out and get GPM stuff. The only reason why I'm recommending don't go GPM is because there is no replacement parts for any of them. See, now, because before I went out and bought a set of the toe links and turnbuckles from GPM, and I ended up bending them and breaking all the rod ends, and there's no replacement parts for them, so you more or less are stuck buying a new set. With the Traxxas parts, the genuine Traxxas parts, you are able to go out and buy replacement parts and just stick it back in there and keep going. So they will save you money by buying genuine Traxxas parts. They will save you money in the long run. Okay, another thing. Shocks, springs. That's another thing. Shocks and springs, very important. So these here are the aluminum bodied GTR shocks. Okay, so these are the nitride, titanium nitride coated body or shafts. The springs that come with this truck out of the box are nowhere even stiff enough for this truck, because when I got this car, the truck was practically like this all the time, like it was dragging ass. So I pretty much switched up springs. Okay, so what it does is they come with, I believe it's it's tan rate springs in the front and black rated springs in the back. Also has 30 weight shock oil in it. I changed all that. I went out and bought the pink rate springs. I don't know if you could see them. No, you wouldn't be able to see them. But anyways, these are the pink rate springs. Okay, so I have both pink rate in the front and rear, as well as I changed out all the shock oil and changed it from 30 weight to 100 weight. So now, as you can see, the suspension on this truck is just absolutely phenomenal. And the best thing about it is my shocks aren't even tightened down all the way. So I could tighten them down even more and make them a little stiffer, but if I do that, then it's going to be more prone to rolling over. So I have this chassis sitting pretty low. This setup, I like. It handles quite well. The tires, actually that's the next topic. Tires, yes, is a must. These tires, I believe these are the Proline Dirt Hawg Tires, Mark 1s, yes. Mounted on Titus beadlock rims. These tires handle like no other on pavement, asphalt, any type of surface. I've even went off-roading with these tires and they've done quite well. So I've never had a problem with these, nor have I had them come off the rim at all. So I've had these tires for about 2 years now, and they outperform the stock tires big time. I think they're about $36 a set of tires, and yeah, they come in sets of 2, so you're buying 2 sets for the price of $70. Not bad. So the spring and shock oil, I did that. The tires, I did that. Axle carriers. Actually, you know what? I would like to show you the axle carriers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off one of the tires just to show you guys. What I ended up doing was going out and buying the RPM axle carriers. These axle carriers from RPM are freaking amazing. They have not broken once yet, and I don't think, well, they will eventually, but you have to have one hell of a crash or an accident to break one of these. But here you go. These are beefy. Some of the best axle carriers I've ever seen. Okay, they outperform the stock big time, because with the stock ones I had the issue of the plug popping out all the time. So with these ones, these caps are screwed in, and you're also able to adjust the amount of slop that's in your axle carrier, and it stops the wobble like you would have with the stock car. Like, that's like to a minimal. Like I could barely even move that. So these are double the price for the axle carriers. Well, they're double the price compared to the stock, but they are well worth it. And like I said, they will save you money in the long run if you buy anything RPM. Okay, also switched out RPM front bumper. Okay, covers more area, protects these camber links or push rods from impacts and crashes. Yeah, so the ESC and motor combo was an investment. Yeah, it is a little bit of money. The Valinean system was going to put into here. This car came brushed. Okay, so it was a 550 Titan motor in here when I got it. I was happy with that for about a month until the motor took a shit. So I didn't bother going out and buying a Valinean system for this one, because that meant I had to go out and buy a new motor mount, the mounting plate. I'd have to switch out everything to go from 550 size can to a 380 size can. I bought this system. Well, actually, I had another system before this. I had the Traxxas Element system. Okay, it was a good system, no problem with that. The only thing was it was only rated up to 2S, but for 2S even then it was ridiculously fast. But it wasn't waterproof. So this is why I selected the Sidewinder3 waterproof system, because the ESC and the motor are both waterproof. Now I could run it through puddles and not have to worry, and it's rated up to 3S lipo or 12 stump nickel, which is pretty cool. This motor puts out a lot of torque, a lot of punch, and a lot of power. It is a very powerful system. It is a 110 system in a 1/16 car. So, yeah. So this, it's stock gearing. I am not going to go over the top when it comes to gearing. I'm not going to overgear it, because otherwise, if you overgear it, it's going to overheat, and you're going to have to stop every once in a while. Other than that, not really much I can cover here. So I got the drive shafts, the tires, axle carriers, springs and shocks. Okay, so yeah, the aluminum shocks in here I have. They did come stock plastic. Like, the way I looked at those shocks, you may as well just pull them out and throw them in the garbage, because they are kind of useless. They did leak a lot, the plastic ones, and I did end up cracking one. So the aluminum ones also save you money in the long run, so you don't have to go out and buy new shocks every time you break them. And these don't leak oil nearly as much, but when they do, you just typically go out and buy a bladder seal kit for them, and it takes care of that problem. What else here? Comes with one servo. Okay, so I've always I've had two servos. One just went recently on me, so I used the other slot to put my switch in. Okay, so I just screwed it into this little servo hole, this slot here. Okay, so that's where my switch is. What else? The telemetry. Yeah, I have all the telemetry sensors. Okay, so this is the voltage sensor. Okay, so it tells you what your voltage is. This one here is, I gotta replace this one. This one's no good. This is the temperature sensor for the motor. The RPM sensor I have on the other side of the car. Okay, it just plugs into this little gear cover here. Okay, so there's a wire that goes into the side. So this is the wire that you're looking at right here for that sensor. I don't even know if you can see that, but yeah, this wire here is the RPM sensor. And all this is operable through the iPhone on the docking base of the TQI radio, which I think is pretty cool. Not like I sit there and hammer on it and then look down. I don't do that, because you have to pay attention to the road. But other than that, it is a very cool feature. You can fine tune the car with a touch of a button instead of having to completely go through your ESC and then program it through there that way. Okay, so it works out. What next? Batteries. For this system, you cannot use, well, you can use the stock 25C Traxxas battery, but they are not going to put out the amount of power you require. So I ended up finding a solution to that problem by going out and buying a set of max amps for the 1/16 Erevo. Okay, these batteries, you will be hard pressed to find batteries with these specs and that fit to power the system. So I'll show you right here. Okay, so this right here is the max amp. See if I can get it in here. Yep, the 1850 milliamp hour 3S lipo battery. Okay, so when it says lipo 11 volts, 11.1 volts, true 100C, do not get confused. 100C does not mean it is a 100C discharge rate. It just means it's a 100C burst. Okay, 100C burst, not 100C discharge. These actually are a 50C continuous. Okay, right here, a lot of people have misconstrued conceptions about this. Okay, oh, it's a 100C continuous. No, it's not a 100 continuous C battery. It is a 50C continuous. Okay, 50C, that just means a whole lot of punching, a whole lot of power, and wow, these batteries actually do help you unlock that 55 mile/hour plus speed. So on stock gearing in this truck with this system, I'm actually at 55 mile an hour with these batteries. And the 25C batteries from Traxxas did not support the system at all and did not put out the power that was required. So max amps did a really good job, and like I said, good luck going out and finding a battery with these specs and that fit the car. Okay, so other than that, batteries, nickels, I really don't bother with nickels. I just stick with lipo. As a matter of fact, the way I look at it, nickels are obsolete nowadays, because a lot of companies are starting to provide lipos with their models. I do run 2S lipo with this system, but once again, I don't use max amps for 2S. I just use the basic 25C 2-cell lipos from Traxxas. But the only thing is, they don't last very long with this system. These 3S's have less milliamp hours than the 2200 milliamp hour 2S lipos, but they stick out more power, and then they last longer. The 2S lipos are, when you run them in parallel, are technically supposed to run longer at 4400 milliamp hours, but still, these lipos, they pretty much beat them and blow them out of the water. So other than that, that's pretty much everything I've done to this truck. I don't think there's really anything else I can go over. For this car, you may want a wheelie bar. Okay, I got a wheelie bar because it tends to wheelie a lot. I think I'm due for a new one pretty soon. You can upgrade the servo. I'm actually planning on doing that soon. Going to a metal geared steel Savic servo for these. I could get the long travel rocker set. That is for the Summit, but I have excellent range of motion as is, so I'm not really too concerned. If I was to put the long travel rockers in, it would probably, the chassis would be able to touch the ground, but right now the rocker arms that are in here, the progressives, they seem to have an anti-squat, so it doesn't allow the actual chassis to hit the ground. And I actually kind of like that. I don't like it when I do a jump and then just boom, the rear end slaps real hard. Like, okay, it just did right there. So, right, but from the center, it's very hard to get it to do that. So, yeah, okay. So that's 100 weight shock oil and pink rate springs front and rear. That right there pretty much solved all my handling issues. It does allow the sway, okay, back and forth. It does in turns, so I could do high speed turns without the truck flipping over. It'll just shift the weight either way, okay. So the pink rate springs do allow this. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Okay, so yeah, I got the telemetry, the new TQI receiver in here. I actually ended up replacing my TQI receiver. Oh, that's the other thing, because you have this little blue antenna, that little tube that comes with the truck. Okay, I got rid of that completely. I honestly do not like my antenna protruding the body, just for the antenna's sake. It just drags along the street and gets torn. So what I ended up doing was removing the blue tube and getting like a piece of conduit from wire and made my own little antenna. So now it's flexible. I can feng shui it any way I like, and all I do is pretty much just take it, slide it through the rear shock tower, and just slide it right in between the wing. Right there, there you go. And so this way when I put the body on, it doesn't stick up, and when it rolls and flips over, it doesn't scratch the antenna along the ground, which was the reason why I had to replace my last receiver, because the wire just got sawed right in half. Pretty much got a cement polish. Shims, diffs, okay. That is a must, an absolute must. If you are going to get a system like this, and you're going to build your vehicle like this, and you're going to be planning on putting out lots of speed, lots of power, the best thing for you to do to save you lots of money in the long run, because I just learned slowly recently about this, that you need to shim your diffs. Okay? You can go out and buy the Team Associated Shims. I believe the part number, actually no, I'll put the part number in the description. Don't quote me on this. I think it's 221141. That's the part number for the shims for this. At the end of the shimming, I ended up having 3 shims per diff, so 3 shims per bulkhead, so that's a total of 6. If you like, I could put up a video on how to shim your diffs. I could do that too if you like. Or the next time I take it apart, I'll just kind of show you where I put them. So you do have to be kind of specific where you put your shims inside the bulkheads. Ever since I shimmed my diffs, I have not chewed one, and this car has been phenomenal ever since. So that's another thing I recommend you do, is shim your diffs. Otherwise, because if you don't shim your diffs, you're gonna have, if you grab your bulkhead and you grab the 2 ends of the CVDs. Okay, so yeah, the other thing about the CVDs is you have to open you must take apart your front and rear diffs to install the CVD kit. Okay, because what they do is they just come with U-cups, and you slide the dog bone CVD in, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a dog bone style CVD with the cup. And yeah, if you grab the 2 sides and you have side-to-side play with your diff, then that means that, well, of course, it's going to skip teeth eventually, and then just wear your teeth down. If not, just chip them off. So I've gone through 4 diffs in the last 2 years and didn't know why. So shimming is very important for these type of vehicles, and when you put that kind of power through them. Didn't use any specific oil for the diffs, just the stock 30,000 weight differential oil. Shim them. I'm probably going to look into getting some aluminum bulkheads, but once again, that's adding weight to the car. I don't want to add any more to this and further stress out the motor and ESC system. I kind of want to keep it happy, keep it cool, keep it happy, keep it safe as well. At this point, it's super fast. Like, there's no reason for me to go any faster than what I have it at. So that's that. Okay, so that has pretty much been my review for my 1/16 MERV. If you have any comments or questions, okay, feel free to comment below and subscribe. Absolutely subscribe. I do have other vehicles. I've also done a review of my 110 Traxxas Wrestler just a while ago. I think it was last year I did it, after I've completed upgrading that whole vehicle. So if you're interested in, or you have a Wrestler, you may as well just watch my last video, because I'm not going to get into it right now. Yeah, other than that, I do recommend highly this car. It is a very good car. It is a very fast car, very fun, but they just need a lot of upgrades. But if you get all your upgrades, make sure you get them all at one time and put them all in one time. Okay, because you're going to be taking the car apart several times if you get them all separately. And it's just a big pain in the ass, and it takes a lot of time to take this car apart and put it back together. Because there's a lot of parts, and parts hooked to parts that are hooked to, more or less. So, yeah, I went through a wing or two. Other than that, yeah, that's about everything. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much been my review of the Traxxas 1/16 Erevo, and that was pretty much me showing you guys what I have done and some of the things I've come across with these cars. And stay tuned, I'm gonna have another video posted about the 1/10 Erevo brushless that I will have coming, so I'll be doing an unboxing for that in the next 2 weeks. Other than that, that's everything. So yeah, have a good day, guys, and stay tuned. Yeah, these are fun cars. There's not too much I could really say other than this. Alright, guys, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.